We are officially streaming. Sick. One, two, 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2. Right. That is good. We're ready to just go right into it. And we're gonna load back up our save from a couple of weeks ago. I pretty much have no excuse for not streaming, so sorry about that. Pretty much figuring out what kind of content I'm gonna make. There's an envelope, you can just make out your name in a thick black marker on the front, your real name. Oh yeah, this is from last time. You sign, get to work. Yeah, this is from last time. This is the police reports. We can't do any of these because we don't have enough time. Oh, we can do one. Pictures of crime scene 4. So this means we gotta cut off early tonight, I reckon. So killer site. Spent bullet case, killer 4 with victim. Time is up. Also, all of them are taller than, so this is pretty much useless. Oh wait, what? So that means that there's more than one killer then? That's... well... oh, well then. Where's the empty bullet casing? Spent bullet case. Victims killed with 1 bullet to the neck. Killer's height. Death equals execution. Killer knew the victims or researched them. That's... don't like that. That probably could be her because she's a medical examiner. Defender. Cop. Retired cop. 1977 makes sense. We've got 315 euros. And can't do anything else, so we'll end the night here. With a heavy hand you wipe your tired face. You slowly open the sofa bed and lie down. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems, and pitch blackness, and we slowly die. While the game's saving, you open one eye. Your back aches, you'd like to close your eyes and go back to sleep. You get up quickly, and a few minutes later you're outside of your studio. Night 3. Right. Oh, we've got a few spectating spots this time. We did one of these last time, which was here, but didn't get to read anything. From outside the Montparnasse gun store looks at any other shot, plain discreet front window sliding doors. Inside they sell handguns, machine guns, knives, and even grenades. It's your first time here, but you already had its owner in your cab. Ah, wait, what? The store opens really early so that patrons can come in and train at the shooting range. As you walk up to the counter, you hear the distant noise of gunshots under your feet. It's an unsettling experience. Madame Brochant, can I help you? So it's the owner speaking, an older woman with a hunchback. She's been selling weapons since the 70s. She's cheeky in a typically Parisian? Parisian? I don't know. Way, and her wrinkles carve craters across her face. Ah, it's you. It's been ages. Come closer. You make small talk and eventually decide to go for it. I have a question for you about a weapon. You slide the photo of the shell across the counter. She looks slowly up at you. Where's the photo from? She's been doing this for years. You doubt you can pull one over on her. The cops. Yeah, and just how did you end up with police photos? She wouldn't believe that. I'm helping them out. Shh, you know perfectly well this lady never smiles, but something on her face shifts ever so slightly into what might be constructed as a small grin. I'm not surprised. You were always the type to want to help people out. She practically rips the photo out of your hand as you give her as many details as you can. She thinks for a while. The shop doors open and create a woman, probably a cop from her parents, comes in, greets the owner and disappears downstairs. When she opens the door it creaks and the smell of gunpowder spreads through the shop. It's funny, this doesn't fit with what you told me. The shell is in perfect shape. You told me the bullets were also completely clean. But it's old ammo, you can tell. There's no scratches, with a few oxidization stains. Her voice grows darker all of a sudden, like something had escaped from her. In my opinion, oh nice new clue, it's from an old weapon, perfectly maintained by someone who knew what they were doing. In light of what you told me, I'd like to say it belonged to a cop or a soldier. It could be a family weapon. It was a police service weapon in the 1970s, either a cop held on to it or the guy you're looking for inherited it. That judge there, he's a pro. You raise your head to meet her gaze. Her bones make... Ugh. Her bones make that slight shift again, the one that could be constructed as a smile. Or she actually... You know, lots of women shoot, and I give classes if you have any lady friends who are interested. Maybe that old woman from last time. Back in your cab. You glance at the back at the shop, you don't know this woman. You don't know how this woman knew that. Anyway, you start your taxi, and you have what you need to move forward with your investigation. And a coupon for a class on shooting automatic weapons. Right, sick. We've got quite a few clues from that, to be honest. Second. Well, usually when they glow, that means that they are a person, that's a suspect. You park your taxi across from the stadium just a few meters from a two-story building. It's an odd brick place that clashes with huge concrete behemoth. With the huge concrete behemoth that is Charlie Stadium. I think I pronounced that right. You get out of the car and walk to the front door. You knock. You wait a few minutes, lights come on, and the door finally opens. Marco appears. Marco is a former taxi driver, a strange guy, a bit spacey and different. He's been working at the stadium for a few years now. Well shit, you're still alive. That's Marco. You like him. I mean, wow. So nice to see you. Even though you stole your wife. Wow. That is... brilliant. Come in, come in. You want something to drink? Alright, you stop drinking. Cup of coffee? Should just be really cold and just say nothing. No thanks, I'm just looking for information. You follow him into his caretaker's home. It's pretty nice despite the mess and filth. He sits at the table and points for you to sit down as well. The only noise in the room is the TV behind Marco. Before you came by, he was playing a soccer video game. Are you playing FIFA? The fans are singing and clapping their hands. So, what have you been up to? I have some questions for you. He shakes his head. No, not yet, man. Seriously, no. Last time I helped you out, I lost my job, so the answer is no. You have no choice and you know it. You owe me this much. Marco drops his head between his shoulders and he starts to beg. I'm telling you, man, I love this job. It's so easy. I get to take care of a stadium that's empty 75% of the time. He sits up roughly in his chair. Behind him on the screen, the stadium was going wild. I need information on Ronan Besson. He straightens up. Ronan? The coach that got killed by the judge. Oh. Nice. The very one. He was a great guy, everyone's torn up about it. Spit out. There were rumours. Some parents heard he was a little too hands-on with their kids a while back. If you get my drift, but no one ever looked onto it. Was it true? I don't know nothing. He sighs. A few months ago, Ronan cornered a kid. Whoa. Wow, like by the showers, you know what I mean? Kid stabbed him in the thigh with a pair of scissors and ran away. Wow. The kid's parents weren't sure whether they'd file a complaint. The club director brought Ronan in the BAM. 2 days later, he was murdered. Who else knows this? About the kid? No one. Well, maybe some other parents. Dunno. You get up. One last thing. You listen, Ames. He doesn't relax until you mention Charles Buckrain. Oh yeah, him. I know him. I mean, everyone knows him, right? Right-wing extremist son of a bitch. Hold on, wait. What are you doing these days? I can't say. Marco sits up. Damn it, I'm gonna get fired. Easy. His voice speeds up. Don't tell anyone where you got this information, okay? Damn hotel. Dude, seriously, this is the perfect job. Perfect. What? How do I pronounce that? A Vivensuela voice comes from the TV. I probably just butchered that. Okay, I've got to run. He walks you to the door, mumbling with clenched teeth. Every time I run into you, you jinx me. Every single time. You walk out. Ah, frick. Door key, motor purring, you go back to work. Right, this has been useful. So we're going to go back to the house and... Crowth. Oh god, we got this police officer guy. Got enough gas already. We haven't made a single bit of money. We're just going to start doing cab rides for the night. You rub your heavy eyes, fatigue, stress, you wish you were far away from here, really far away. The time goes pretty quickly, to be honest. I'm too drunk to try. Oh. You pull up in front of the address the central office gave you, a crepe joint. Crepe joint? Quite a popular one by the looks of it. By the looks of the line spilling out the door and onto the sidewalk. You sit for a moment, the door opens and a group of 30-somethings comes into view. All the men and women are dressed alike. Sporty running shoes, jeans, small shoulder bags. There are officers from the Paris anti-crime squad in plain clothes. You sigh. They're brutish types. Ones who like to rob. Ones who ruined the afternoons you spent wandering around Paris in your teens. After a bit, one of them pulls away from the group and comes over to your taxi. He opens the door and collapses onto the back seat. He is stocky, of Asian descent, and you see his muscles through his thick winter clothes. He smells like crepes and hard cider, and his face is bright red. Hey, what's up? I live near Turns. He chuckles as one of his colleagues rushes over to the taxi and pulls an imaginary gun from his coat. He points to his badge and screams at you with a big smile on his face. What a douchebag! The other cop eventually backs off and you drive away. Sorry man, we're having a going away party from a colleague and celebrate Christmas too. Uh-huh. Don't take it the wrong way. They're not bad guys. Seem a bit dodgy. You glance sideways at him. He just laughs in response but quickly stops himself. Really sorry. We didn't notice how late it had gotten. It's pretty tense right now. Your passenger smiles and puts his fingers on his temples. I drank too much. Shit. I'm a lightweight, and they knew it. I think they were trying to loosen my tongue. His behaviour changes abruptly, like he's just seen a ghost. One question. Yes. Do taxi drivers have some sort of policy or ethics code? Not sure I understand. Like priests or doctors. If I tell you something, can you keep it to yourself? You start speaking before you even have the chance to reply. I've been lying to my colleagues for years. I joined the squad 8 years ago, and they think I'm in a relationship with a woman who lives in Strasbourg, and that we're going to get married. He makes a strange yelping noise, like an air bubble bursting on the surface of a river. That's a really weird analogy. Like a bubble bursting on a river. This is confusing and strange. As soon as I get too close to Strasbourg, I start making up stories. We've almost broken up 10 times. I convinced them that we're trying to have a kid, but it hasn't worked yet. He sighs. Fuck. Saying it out loud is just the worst. His eyes are getting shiny. Whoa! Well, I'm gay. A deep breath. I'm getting married in a few weeks to my boyfriend. Another breath, longer, deeper. No one at work knows, not a soul. The next sentence comes out in a rush. He holds onto his breath the whole time. I like men. I've always liked men. But I work with a police station and listen to their comments and their jokes all day long. When we catch a guy who's never done time before, we tell him briefly what he should expect. We talk about the violence, about the... Finally, he breathes in again. I say we because I'm in on it. Because I can say fag any time of the day without any prompting. The words roll off my tongue completely naturally. Fag. He finally looks you in the eye. They're not mean. Say nothing. They're cops. Not mean, just doing the job boy. He manages a flash. A tiny crooked smile. You know what I'd really like? He pauses. I'd like to have them over for dinner. Everybody on the squad. They can see my place. We can play board games, something normal, you know. And they can meet James. I still don't believe it. His hands are shaking visibly. It's crazy. Crazy. He smiles at last, a genuine smile. Can you believe it? We're getting married in 2 weeks. After living together for 9 years, he's been willing to live in a lie. James, he's English. James is Australian. We met over there. I was travelling and must have been, 22? I was working on a potato farm there, in the middle of nowhere, Victoria. That sounds more Irish than Australian. Working in a potato farm. Me, the little dude from Parisian. I think that's how you pronounce it, Parisian. Parisian suburbs. He was on his gap year just after college, and we just clicked. He comes over from a very typical family, a mom, a dad, and an older sister. He likes to surf, does charity work, likes to hunt and fish. Totally Australian. Passenger flashes pearly white, his eyes are shining, and he's getting emotional. this game definitely handles a few subjects, doesn't it? Parents couldn't handle him being gay, and even so less him dating an Asian. Things are complicated in Australia. He stops abruptly. Shit, my head is spinning, I don't feel so good. Why am I telling you all this? Why? He grabs onto the seat in front of him. Hey, can you pull over? He stops immediately, opens the door and leans the top half of his body out. And I just got an achievement for someone throw up. Well, he throws up. You open your window to air out the greasy smell of fried crabs and the sour scent of cider. A moment later, the cop sits back up. Okay, I'm all set. I got it all out. You start driving again. I'm sorry, really. Yeah, you're right. You nod while your passenger moans and quietly says, I'm sorry. Yeah, just be careful, okay? He pauses to catch his breath. Shit, I haven't bathed like that since last Easter. They made me drink this South African liquor, something with cream and cocoa. Nasty. Oh god. I can still picture it. I was doing shots while they shouted my name, Karate Kid, Karate Kid. Karate Kid? He seems uncomfortable. It's my nickname on the squad. Kind of a bit of racism there as well. Karate? Yeah, I was a judo champion. Judo champion. And I'm a gook. So, he runs his hand along the sides of his body like he's showcasing it for the Home Shopping Network. So, Karate Kid. Yeah, I know, it makes no sense. It's racist. Yeah, well, yeah, a little. But first I didn't say anything. And now, I'm used to it. He stops suddenly. Everything's spinning again. Can you pull over? A repeat of last time. He opens the door, leans his head out, his torso, his arms. The sound makes your stomach churn. You stare straight ahead. Can I ask you a question? More puke on the sidewalk, a little inside the vehicle. Right now? It's now or never. You hesitate as he painfully hiccups and burps in the back seat. Fine, shoot. He sits up, prompts you to drive. So here goes. What should I do? Should I keep going on? Or should I confess? Should I invite them to my wedding and surprise them? He pauses. It's a long one. Aye. Be straight with me. What would you do if you were me in my shoes? If you were being hard on yourself? You're hurting yourself rather than trying to solve the problem. You're not going to change your sexual orientation or leave your husband. So there aren't a lot of alternatives. Well. You have to tell them. Tell them? Wow. I've got to tell them. He looks at you in the mirror. Can you take me somewhere else, if you don't mind? I don't mind. My colleagues at the bar, I'll go see them. Tell them everything. If I don't do it now, I'll never do it. A smile of relief spreads across his face. It's not just the alcohol talking. Yep. But I think it's about the 10th time I've got wasted this month. You're right, I'm hurting myself. He gives you the new address. I need to tell them now. I feel terrible, but I think I'll feel better if I speak to them directly. His headache is apparently back, and he has knocked him out a bit. You're used to having drunk people in your cab. Actually, the majority of Saturday night's passengers are drunk. I don't know how to tell them about all this. From the tone of his voice, you can tell he's beginning to panic. I don't think I'm ready. Your passenger stares hard at you. You can tell your silence is giving him doubts. I want to go to the bar. He seems determined despite his shaky voice. I want to tell him about James. You're about to say something when he cuts you off. My mind is made up. He smiles briefly. You turn back towards the bar. He better be paying me well for this. For the remainder of the trip, your passenger is silent. From time to time, he massages his temples. His headache is persistent. When he sees you watching him in the rearview mirror, he raises a hand. Everything's fine. It's cool. He smiles like someone slowly sobering up. Wariness replacing the alcohol, stress taking over giddiness. You stop the car, your passenger waits for a second. Then all of a sudden, like you just woke up, he realizes you're at the bar. Already? Yes. He pays his fare, but is frozen in place. A piece of advice. Doesn't how you feel. Yes. Right. We know each other well enough. They should understand. In any case, he flashes you a grin. Thank you. I don't quite remember what I said, but thank you. He jumps out of the taxi so quickly you'd think someone kicked him in the ass. You follow his stocky figure with your gaze. He goes into the bar, looks for a friend and waves. You drive off. Well. Oh, and we've got the old police officer as well. Let's speed it on down there. The airport is huge, ugly, cold and lifeless, and you are yet to get a kick out driving around this area at night, I think. Around the maze of knotted on and off ramps and parking lots. Well. Oh, Jesus. Go to the hospital. Your next passenger is your suspect, the retired policeman. Judging by his looks, you could have easily guessed. Hospital St. Louis, please. You nod your head and start the engine. You notice right away that your passenger is cold, very cold in fact. He is shivering and chattering his teeth. You start driving. But keep an eye on him. You okay? Yeah, no worries. I'm not cold, it's my medication. Pretty bizarre side effects. 1 minute I'm hot, the next I'm cold. Not much fun really, but it's for my own good. His face says otherwise. He's not quite convinced. Actually, maybe it is the cold. Hasn't been this cold in ages. Since 18... Jeez Christ, he's not that old. 1982, I think. 83 maybe. And almost in a whisper he adds, the Year of the Tiger. The Chinese Year of the Tiger. He's smiling now but continues shivering ever so slightly. No, the year we hunted a tiger down in Paris. Nothing to do with the Chinese. It's a really nice story actually. Or maybe nice isn't the right word, you'll see. And it'll get my mind off of things. He has a nervous laugh and is clearly uncomfortable, probably not used to appearing fragile. It was late December. The weather was crap. Never been so cold in my life. The water in the fountains and gutters was frozen. At the office, most of my colleagues were sick. Stuck in bed. I was sick too, but I was new, so I sucked up. I was blowing my nose every 5 minutes. My nose was red. My breath reeked of cough drops. We all looked like we were about to keel over. The switchboard phone rang. No one answered. I sighed, got up, picked up the phone. A woman screamed in my ear. A tiger. She had seen a tiger, orange and black, big as a motorcycle, in the Rue de Bucci. I burst out laughing. I told her it was a good prank and hung up. Less than a minute later, the phone rang again, the second line too. Then the one in the chief's office. He points to different areas of the car, as if he could still hear phones ringing. A tiger. A really big one. Rudabuchi, Rudacine, Rudabu Art. The passenger rubs his chin and seems deep in thought. We were starting to think something fishy was going on, so we got a move on. We grabbed our coats and scarves. One of the guys from the squad called his brother-in-law, who works at the zoo in Virginians. Besides, outside it was snow in buckets, huge flakes, the size of the gear shift there. We were better off on foot. When we got to St. Michael, we walked down the Quai de Grands Augustines, knocking on doors. The people we talked to wanted us to take their word for it. They swore they seen a tiger. They were dead serious. We walked the streets, the snow was slowing, but only barely. He looks at you. I'm sure you're familiar with that moment in the middle of the night, when Paris is completely quiet. You nod. It's incredible, like the city just stops for a moment. Yeah, well, it was just like utter and total calm. Absolute silence. The team broke into pairs, we checked alleys and passageways. Back then the neighbourhood was like Swiss cheese, the nooks and crannies all over, garages built without permits. It wasn't the highbrow neighbourhood it is today. He heaves a sigh, he seemed sad. We went into the narrow street before my partner thought he saw paw prints, and he was right. There was snow all over the dumpster, on the roof of the garage, the building's balconies. The tiger had climbed up there, so we followed. We pulled out our weapons and started after the prints. Dumpster, garage roof, balconies. My partner was huffing and puffing. Huge puffs of steam were escaping from his mouth. The passenger snickers. He stopped and told me that we must look like our ancestors, like prehistoric men, wielding flint spears. We couldn't help laughing. We knew how stupid we must look. We got up to the roof. The tiger was there. Damn, what a shock. It was a magnificent beast, almost 2 meters in size, maybe more. It took our breath away. The tiger looked at us, there was fear in its eyes, he was shaking. We realised we'd screw up. We never should have come. If it attacked, we had to kill it, but neither of us wanted to kill it after seeing it. He stared at us. Paris was utterly calm. Snow as far as the eye could see, a white skyline. And then, the passenger pauses. He closes his eyes slowly. Something in his voice cracks. He jumps off the roof. It was remarkable. A moment of silence. He is still shivering. No. He didn't aim for another building, or me or my partner. He jumped into the void, knew he'd be cornered. The passenger needs a few seconds before going back to his story. You get the impression he's still shaking as much as he got in. Now, where was I? Oh yeah. We leaned as far as we could off the roof and to look below. It looked like he was asleep, lying comfortably on the snow. A giant orange and black spot on the feather bed. He watches the street go by. The hospital is closed now. Paperwork. Lots of paperwork. The squad really took it to heart. It was a huge blow to morale. Like one of us had killed him. Like we'd lost one of our own. His hands go to his eyes as if he's checking for tears. It was just a tiger. He closes his eyes and heaves a huge sigh. Just a tiger. You park in front of the hospital. The passenger suddenly speaks up. His voice sounds more confident than before. I think I do just what the tiger did. His death seems so calm and gentle. Can't hurt too much to fall onto a huge bed of feathers. He glances quickly at his shaking head. In the rearview mirror, the police inspector seems oddly small, as if he had drunk during the ride. Seriously, it can't hurt too much. He hands you his money and gets out of the cab. You watch him walking away without saying a word. The sliding doors at the entrance of the hospital take far too long to open. You drive away. Well. We've seen this guy before, I'm pretty sure. Ozine, taxi, yeah, Milo Reacher. I swear, I've heard that name before. You recognise the passenger getting into the cab, an American guy who works for the CIA. We know him. He settles into the back seat, his clothes reek of alcohol. You recognise the deep, mild voice. It's like American accent. The stories too. He's a funny guy. This one, both reassuring and disturbing. It gives you an interest. With a heavy sigh, you start the cab. Looks like I've made a mess of things again. A wave of sadness comes over your passenger. You can read it in his gestures, in the look on his face. You cast a glance into the rearview mirror, trying to catch his eye. No luck. Is everything okay? Same as always. I'm only just starting to realise. He sits bolt upright as if someone had struck him on the back of the neck. I don't have any children, amigo, but I've come under my supervision. Kids. One of them is... He stops short. He doesn't have to finish. You know where that sentence ends. You slump heavily against your seat and focus on the road, on automatic pilot. Your mind a blank. What would you do if your children disappeared? Something awful. You can't even imagine it. The wrenching sorrow of a parent who loses a child. The first time I saw him. His voice has gone up a notch. You almost jump. He was beating up a black market supplier. The guy had sold him shoe polish that smelled like shit, and his business depended on shoe polish. He was always stationed around Krakow, Cloth Hall, and the Poles call it Sukienish, calling out to passers-by at the top of his lungs. His voice trails off. Bogdan. He wasn't the first kid I ever supervised, just there was something different about him. He caught on fast, amigo. Know what I mean? He could think on his feet. He knew when to get tough, and when to play dead. Bogdan was like a little Polish monkey. Smart, cunning, fearless, brave. A real comic book hero. He breaks off again. You really cared for him? A great deal. I think he reminded me of myself. Like I said, amigo, he sensed it immediately. Or I sensed it immediately. First time I set eyes on him. He was beating up this supplier, and I went over and handed him a Mars bar. That's what we always gave them back then. We had about 5 minutes for a serious talk before the sugar kicked in. That's back in '88. Poland was no longer part of the USSR. Soviets had lost. What an amazing country, amigo. Have you ever been there? Never. It's too bad. You arrive at your destination, a nondescript building, all glass and metal. Every person is unique. Your passenger reaches into his pocket, fishing for the fare. Some are as cool as concrete, others fragile, like cut glass. He pulls out a bill and hands it to you. The poles are made of steel. His voice falters, his eyes gaze over. Good evening. Your passenger casts a glance at the building out of the window. It can't get any worse. The job is still the job, at least. He feels something in his vest. The idea of his having a gun gives you quite a start. The kid entered my life like a jingle, you know. See what I mean? He's struggling to find the right metaphor. Life is like a radio. There are songs, the interviews, the ads, and the jingles. The jingles are short, but they stick in your head. You can't get rid of them. You nod, assent, without thinking. Your client grins. The police got him. I trained the kid, and he went and got himself whacked. Through his own fault, though. I thought he was smarter. It's been 30 years, but Bogdan or whatever, the kid could have made something of himself. And he just let himself get caught pickpocketing a couple of American tourists. Then he made a run for it and got shot in the back. Dumbass. He opens the cab door, the cold air rushes in. I taught that kid everything I knew. Everything well, so much for him. He exits the cab, the door slams with a resounding radio. You sit stuck still, taking in his parting words. And then you start up the cab. No better way to get your mind off things. Well, it's different than the last time we saw it. Is that Santa? What's going on here? Oh, that's my home. That's what's... Well... Nothing really going on in Paris tonight. Oh, it's 3:42. Yeah, we better go home. We're gonna go sort out all this evidence that we got, because we got shit loads of it. You have met Perry up. Profits 68.87. Oh god. Investigation -0. Losses 110 current pounds 315. 273. Peer told about James. Peer threw up. Now we get to read a bunch of these files. Your neighbour flushes the toilet out of the corner of your eye. You can see the pipe shake. You sigh and get to work. Right, hold to investigate. Got new clues. Oh, Jesus! That takes me to 6:11. Right, here we go. We got some stuff to organise now. Wow, we'll put all the useless stuff over here. Or at the bottom, even. Useless. Custody of the victims, research them. Don't need to know that. Got a fought with victim 3. Weapons. Kept in perfect shape by a professional. Oh. So it's one of these two then. Dad was a cop, died 2 years ago. Mum got health issues as a result. Rare gun used, right. Also killer's height. Which was one of... It's 100% one of these two. Message on crime scene 1, justice. Yeah, it doesn't fit. You deserve this. This guy. Pira Bataz? Whatever. Whoa. That gets... well... Victim 2 killed in only spot without CCTV, which would fit with police officers. or ex-police officers knowing where stuff was. He's got... Oh god, yeah, they're all connected to that. Victims, wealthy. This, right, this all fits over here with him. Get a 4 with victim 1. No sign of violence. Source, cop 2. Stolen wallet. Homeless man with a Charles Green. That's a real thing, isn't it? The Richardson Health scandal. I've heard about it. Don't really know much about it though. She's... No, I don't think she's it. I think it's him. But how do we... end the night? The phone rings and you jump. You're not used to hearing it. No one ever calls you. Must be Passette. Pick up. You pick up. Passette sounds irritated. You there? Yeah. Listen, it's... She pauses. You suddenly hear a ruckus in the background, probably a noise at the station. Passette raises her voice. Anyone got the time? Hey guys, anyone? Fuck. They're all Neanderthals here. Listen, it's early and I'm wiped out. So, you, I bet. Let's get straight to the point. What do you have for me? In the calm and methodical voice, you start giving her the evidence you collected. You start with the first suspect, the connection to all the victims, the rumours, then the second suspect, and so on. A few minutes later, she lets out a whistle. Not bad at all, seriously. You should come give a lesson to the zombies I work with. A loud sigh. I have some good news for you. We checked the alibi of one of the suspects I gave you. As she listened to her, you turned to the board and pulled down the suspect she was referring to. So it's got to be someone else. She snickers. You know how lucky you are? Did you chop for you, pal? Okay, enough chit chat. I've got to run. Call you in 2 days, 3 days, okay? Okay. I'll call you in 3 days. You better not. You better have what I need to make a proper arrest. The DA has fangs. We're pretty sure he's going to turn into a werewolf at some point. She babbles on for a while. Her voice becomes softer, but just as sarcastic. That would explain his terrible breath. Okay, I'm out. She hangs up. You hold the handset to your ear for a while. You have just one thing in mind. Sleeping. And forgetting it all. So wait, so who's not it? It's him. It's Paul. I've solved the case. You slowly open the sofa bed and lie down. It reminds me of Chicago PD series that I watch. And in one of the episodes, the judge, his daughter gets killed by like methamphetamines, I'm pretty sure, or opioid crisis. And finds out that the judge killed the guy who sold it to her daughter with an old police gun because he was the only one that would have been able to have it. Street passengers, their faces, their problems. Yeah, it's all the same as last time. Go away. Oh, wait, what? You prop your head up and there's just shadows. You see your face looks like a combination of all your suspects. You wake with a start, look quickly around you, there's no one there. You lie back down, feeling restless. Alright, my guy just had a nightmare. You open one eye. For a second there, you heard the evidence board was just a dream tube. You can't make it to the shadows, you get up quickly. A few minutes later, you're outside your studio. Night 4. And night 4 is where I end it this episode. There is a lot of information here. and that's where the stream's going to end. Hope everyone that's watching has a good day. If you want to watch this video again, or if you want to watch it at all, or any other videos that I've made for that matter, go to Speed Bunyan VODs on YouTube. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on, watch a few of my videos. Leave comments and suggestions, games that you want me to play. Go to my Twitch, follow, turn notifications on again to keep in tune with stuff that I do. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next stream. Have a good day, night or evening, whatever you're watching from.